What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and goodness gracious, Nintendo is absolutely killing it when it comes to the hardware and software sales. The pandemic, along with just the quality of good games already on the system and that have came out this year, have just boosted Nintendo to new heights. So we're going to break down everything. Nintendo just released their financial numbers recently, and there's a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the Nintendo Switch has officially sold 61.44 million units worldwide as of June 30th, 2020. Nintendo announced in its latest earnings release. Now, a total of 5.67 million Nintendo Switch hardware and 50.43 million software were sold during the 3 months ended June 30th. That is absolutely crazy. They are pumping out well more than 1 million systems per month of sales for that 3 months. Now, Nintendo did not change its previously announced forecast that it will sell 19 million Switch units between April 2020 and March 2021, but we do have a little bit more information on that. It seems like Nintendo's going to try to boost the production up to 25 million units for the fiscal year, so that's going to be a lot as well. Although they didn't change their forecast, but they are going to boost the production because they see the surging sales, they see the sold out in stores. It's hard for a lot of people to get one, and people are scalping the Switch system itself. Now, Nintendo did also share a number of updates on different video game sales, and this is probably some of the most impressive sales that I've ever seen for any system. Nintendo now officially has 320 million sellers on the board here. So we're gonna go ahead and start from the top, then work our way down. Number one, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 26.74 million. That game continues to roll. Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is the most impressive game sales that I've seen in like the last 10 years or so, man. This is crazy. 22.4 million units. The game launched in March. So that's March, April, May, June. So 4 months. 4 months of data, and the game sold 22.4 million units. That is absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like that as an exclusive on a single system. That's like Wii Fit type of numbers, but even maybe better than what Wii Fit did back in the day. Absolutely crazy on that one. Now, another thing here, 20 million units pretty much for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate number 3, officially 19.99, but as we know, it's as of June 30th, and you can just look at the Japanese sales to see that Super Smash Bros. Is still selling in the top 20 there, so it's already at 20 million, which is also really good as well. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 18.6 million. Of course, already the best-selling Zelda game of all time, even gets better. And once Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, I can see this game, when it's all said and done, being well over 20 million units sold. So very good there. Pokemon Sword and Shield, despite all the criticism, the game still does extremely well. 18.22 million units sold. Super Mario Odyssey at 18.6 million units sold. The best-selling 3D Mario game of all time continues to roll. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee at number 7 with 12.20 million, which is also absolutely crazy for that style of game. Number 8, Super Mario Party, almost at 11 million, 10.94. Number 9, Splatoon 2, 10.71 million. And at number 10, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 7.44 million. That game's selling over 7 million. I mean, you guys think that the Mario remasters aren't going to be a big deal? Bro, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe sold 7 million plus. I mean, those games are going to be huge whenever Nintendo does announce it. Now, we did get some news on Nintendo's first-party games for this year. So we got updates on Ring Fit, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, and there's definitely good news to share here. Now, with the extra stock for Ring Fit, that game is nearly at 4 million, officially at 3.9 million by the end of June, so it's probably past 4 million at this point because it's continuing to sell in Japan. So good stuff there for Ring Fit. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and this is something that I want to talk about just a little bit here. Very good for this game. 1.32 million. Remember, the game came out not that long ago, right? We just got this game not too long ago at the end of May, so just about a month or so, and the game has already sold over 1.3 million units, which is really good. That is the fastest selling Monolith Soft / Xenoblade game of all time. So very good to see that there. And I see that the sales are going to continue throughout the rest of the year. I can see that Xenoblade is still continuing to sell. More people are going to pick up the game. So very happy for Monolith Soft. That is a great sales record for them to break. And we're going to continue seeing the Xenoblade franchise just do better and better with each release. So very happy for Monolith Soft on that one. Next up, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. That game released not that long ago, June 5th, and it already sold over 1 million units. So in less than a month, 1.03 million units for Clubhouse Games. That game is rolling along as well. Now, more than 406.67 million Nintendo Switch games have been sold worldwide. Nintendo is absolutely killing it no matter what way you look at it. It's blowing out the 3DS when it comes to sales aligned. It's blowing out the Wii U. We all know about that. Sold several times more than the Wii U, and pretty much it already passed up the NES. Now, if you look at the official sales, it'll actually still show that the NES is above the Nintendo Switch at 61.91 million units. But remember, guys, we have all of July and also August that we're heading into. The Nintendo Switch has continued to sell 100K plus or very high numbers in Japan since then. It's selling very well in July and everything for like the rest of the world. So it's pretty much passed up that. So if you tally up all of those Japanese sales there, it's definitely passed up the NES. So pretty much the Nintendo Switch is the second best selling home console of all time at this moment here for Nintendo. And right now it's had its eyes set on the Game Boy Advance. That would be the next system that would have to be at 81.51 million, which it might get there probably by next year at some point. It'll be passing up the Game Boy Advance, even though that's a portable system, not a home console. But of course, the Nintendo Switch is a hybrid. And then after that, they'd have to go after the Game Boy at 118.69 million. So awesome stuff there. Nintendo just continues to do well with the Switch. I mean, the one thing that we're also looking at here, like I said, is the boosted production. 25 million units. They want to get that pumped out. The COVID pandemic did affect them when it comes to the production of the Nintendo Switch. That's why maybe the sales last quarter weren't as good, but this quarter they were able to get a lot more Switch units into stores, and it's clearly showing with these sales here. Now, what is Nintendo going to have for the rest of the year? That seems to be the big question people continuously ask over and over, but I think there's also a dual reality of people saying, oh my gosh, this year's been horrible, than the actual sales results, and people that are buying the system are saying, what are you talking about? This year's been great. I'm buying Animal Crossing, I'm buying Xeno, buying Clubhouse Games, I'm just buying all sorts of stuff. Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Smash Brothers. There's plenty of stuff to play for new owners for the Nintendo Switch and games out there. So it's interesting, right? It's a very interesting dynamic. We do know about Pikmin 3. That has been announced for October 30th. I do think that we're going to get some other surprises as well. We know the Mario remasters, those are coming, but I do think there's going to be a couple other games maybe that Nintendo hasn't quite talked about yet at this point. And we're also going to get some details on some games that have already been announced, like No More Heroes 3, Bayonetta 3, Bravely Default 2. I think we're going to get some updates. So we'll see how Nintendo handles it going forward, because if you look at their financial investors reports, like the release schedule and all that, it's the same stuff to be decided, blah, blah, blah. But they never had Pikmin on there at all, and that was just announced, although we already knew Pikmin was coming based off of various different reports. So, like I said, I think this year, it was never going to be a year that was like last year, because the development cycles were just absolutely nuts, and they just got everything done at that point. But if you look at the sales numbers here, you look at what consumers are buying and what's going on, there's obviously plenty to meet what people are looking for. And I think at the end of the day, most people can't even afford all of the games that they even want on the Nintendo Switch, all things considered, and how much software that there is on the system between the eShop and digital games, and also between what's going on with all the physical games and everything. It's just absolutely nuts. There's just so much for people to play out there, and obviously Nintendo is reaping the benefits of that with these incredible sales. Now, real quick, another just beat on Xenoblade and Animal Crossing. Very happy to see Animal Crossing do as well as it's doing. I know it took them a long time to develop this game. They were making the game for so long, and they've put out so many free updates at this point, right? And they're going to continue to put out more and more updates, but the developers definitely need a raise. I think that Nintendo should promote or give the lead producers and developers, all of them, everybody that worked on Animal Crossing, they should all get raises across the board, because that's an incredible amount of money that's coming in via Animal Crossing. So I'm glad that there's going to be free updates and for that game to continue, but there definitely needs to be like promotions and raise for Animal Crossing. They knocked that out of the park. And of course, Monolith Soft Xenoblade, I think this would be a perfect time this year, maybe later in the year, in a presentation just to say like what's going on with Monolith Soft and their next game. I really want to see what's next for them. I think that these Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition sales also say, hey, we can go ahead and greenlight or fund that Xenoblade Chronicles export that would be kind of pricier than what they've done before, but we can go ahead and get that funded as well, get that rolling with Monolith Soft. So there's a lot to look forward to, in my opinion, when it comes to what's going on. Obviously, next year, Shin Megami Tensei 5, we've got that rolling. We've also got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. We've got that as well. So I think that Nintendo's going to kind of have this year, obviously not as good as last year, some of their previous years, but still, sales-wise, they're absolutely just killing it, and people clearly have plenty to play. So we'll see what Nintendo announces later in the year. So what are you guys' thoughts on these sales numbers here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.